Graham Parker is an English singer-songwriter and is best known as being the lead figure of the band Graham Parker and the Rumour. But he also released stuff under his solo name. He also released stuff under the name Graham Parker and the Shots, and Graham Parker and the Figs, and Graham Parker and the Gold Tots. Some of the solo albums he released were also with the Rumour as a backing band, just not credited to them. And the Rumour as a band also did some albums without him and were previously a session band. Before he was a professional musician, Graham Parker had several weird jobs. I'm just going to throw some out there. He bred animals for foot and mouth research. He collected money from pinball machines. He worked in a rubber glove factory. He worked on the docks in Gibraltar. He briefly worked in a band called Pegasus in North Africa, and after that worked in a petrol station in Surrey. His first album was in 1976, which came out as Graham Parker with a Rumour, and his most recent came out in 2023, which was Graham Parker with the Gold Tops. And there are 23 more albums in between. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the second album by Graham Parker and the Rumour, and the second album by Graham Parker in any sense, I believe. And it's my first time listening to this album. I've been aware of them kind of in the distance. I don't know if I've really listened to much or maybe even any of their stuff before. So I would describe this as being maybe pop rock, but actually maybe pub rock. And that is mentioned at least, I think, on the Acclaimed Music site. But pub rock's a kind of a British phenomenon that kind of parallels in some ways pop rock or power pop in America, potentially. It's kind of upbeat mostly. It has an immediacy to it. It's definitely kind of poppy in that sense. But it's also rocky and just in the kind of structures and the sounds that are used. Not heavy rock at all in any sense. And there's actually quite varied feels to this. There's occasionally bits of kind of the little hints of reggae coming in, but hints of blues rock and all sorts of other stuff. And the variety of it could have made me talk about it as if it was a singer-songwriter, but actually it's not as varied, partly because of the consistency of the band. So the sound from the band is pretty much the same through, although they're playing different fields. The band are strong, I would say, and a couple of features here that stick out. There's piano there's rock organ in some tracks, and there's brass in a few of the tracks. Graham Parker's singing, he's got quite a gritty voice. It's kind of rough, but in a good way, I would say. Sometimes his inflection reminded me strongly of Mick Jagger, especially in the song Hotel Chambermaid, which is Hotel Chambermaid. It's the kind of moving those vowels around at the end, which is a very Mick Jagger thing to do. The words are okay. There's a variety of subjects that are not all obvious. They're not kind of, you read the title and you go, yeah, I know what that's about. And the lyrics are reasonable, but I wouldn't say that they were they wouldn't say very strong. So one of the reasons why I'm saying that's strong, but not very strong. Fine. Overall, the person I was most reminded of listening to this was Elvis Costello. Not that his voice is similar to Elvis's, but the musical backing is. Also, it reminded me of, going to kind of reference some British stuff that not everybody will know potentially here, Dave Edmunds and Nick Lowe. And there are connections here with that. This is partly why I'm saying pub rock, is because it fits in with them and they're categorised as pub rock. Sound-wise, occasionally, also it reminded me of Van Morrison, especially the tracks with the brass in. So it's a decent enough album, and I kind of enjoyed it, but I felt like it did suffer a bit because I kept in my head comparing it to Elvis Costello, and it doesn't have the songwriting wittiness and depth that I would say Elvis Costello has. And so maybe I was kind of not quite so impressed as I could have been. And maybe if I hadn't thought of Elvis Costello, I might have been more impressed. I don't know. But, these things happen and we can't stop them happening in our brains. So that's what I think of this album. Reasonably enjoyed it. And I'd love to know what you think. So please do leave a comment and send. And that's in from me for now.